Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why walking away is so powerful. So I've been making a lot of videos about walking away, going to no contact, and basically walking away from people that not just don't love you anymore, don't want to be with you, or those people that have rejected you, but also you have to walk away from people that disrespect you, that don't treat you in the way that you feel like you deserve to be treated. So today I'm going to be talking about why walking away is so powerful, and I don't think it's quite what you think. So the first thing that I want to go into is when someone, is searching up videos about walking away or the no contact rule, one of the things that people falsely believe is that walking away is actually really, really going to make this person come back into your life. Now, it's true, there's, always a chance that they can come back into your life, and walking away is the best way, and going into no contact is the best way to reattract somebody, especially if they are the one that's dumped you, because once they realize that you're not fighting for them, once they realize that they have lost you because you have walked away, if someone who truly loves you, they will, they will come back on, they will apologize, and they will try and put their best effort into creating the relationship again and rebuilding it. But that's not always going to be the case. In fact, most of the time when someone dumps you, they are happy that they've dumped you. They are relieved. And that's the main emotion that someone feels when they've dumped someone. They feel relief. And most of the time, exes don't come back, especially if they were truly, truly done with the relationship. So it's best then to assume that they're not coming back. And that's the best mindset to have when you are truly walking away from someone, because a lot of people come to these videos about walking away, or they look up on the no contact rule, because basically they are hoping that they are actually going to reattract that person by going into no contact, by walking away from them. And that's kind of like the false belief that a lot of people have. Now, it's true that they may reattract their ex. It's, especially if that person still loves them. But it's not something that you should always take as a guarantee. Like, the no contact rule will work on your ex, or walking away from your ex will work. It's not always the case. It's not always going to be the case. And everybody's individual situation is going to be different, right? So I always think it's best to assume that they're not coming back, and that you're basically on this new fresh start in your life, and walking away is going to facilitate that. Because the truth is, you don't know for sure by going into no contact, by walking away from them, that they're going to come back. You don't know that 100%. So it's best, I believe, to assume that they're not coming back. And also, them not coming back is actually the best situation for you to actually be in. And to see it from that point of view, like, this was meant to happen, and this is somehow serving me instead of making my life a misery. This is somehow going to bring about better change in my life, and having that mindset that this has actually happened for a reason, and it's going to work out in your favor, and it's going to be a benefit when someone dumps you, when someone no longer loves you. You have to see it in that way. Otherwise, it's you're just going to be miserable. So when you walk away from someone, it's important that you have a more positive mindset. Now, me saying to you that you got to assume that they're never coming back may not sound that positive, but the positive side of it that I want you to see is that this is happening for a reason, and it's actually going to benefit in you in some way, even if it hurts currently, even if it's difficult right now. Have the belief that this is actually going to work out, that it's going to get better, that this has happened for a reason, and ultimately it's going to propel you into a much better place. So walking away is powerful is because it puts you back in the driver's seat. It puts you back in control. Because a lot of the time when we get dumped or something like that, something happens, we want to be with someone, they don't want to be with us, and your heart gets raked over the coals, basically. It puts a lot of power in their hands, a lot of power of how you feel in their hands, and you don't want anyone to have control over how you feel on a given day. If someone's in a bad mood with you, you got to make sure that kind of doesn't let you go into a bad mood too. You got to not let what other people do affect your emotions so much, because only you're in control of your emotions. You can choose to have a better day. You can choose to not let this thing affect you. Now, I'm not saying that you should put your head in the sand, because you have to acknowledge that, sometimes if things suck, sometimes things hurt. When you get dumped and you don't want to be dumped, it hurts. I'm not saying that you should not acknowledge the fact that it stings and that it's painful, but it's 100% your choice how you react to things. It's 100% your choice how you're going to move forward with this pain. Are you going to learn from it, or are you just going to wallow from it? Are you going to become better for it, or are you going to become worse and you could become bitter and grumpy because of it? That choice is 100% always yours. And walking away actually gives you a bit of power back, because if you really, really want to be with someone and they don't want to be with you, the worst thing that you can do is try and beg and plead with them, phone them up, keep on apologizing, whatever it may be, because you're basically putting all of the power in their hands. It's best when someone dumps you to just gracefully accept it and move on, and you can say this to them, like, as if this happens to you at some point, or perhaps you haven't had the conversation with your ex yet, and this conversation happens and you talk to them. You have to say, like, I accept, if you don't want to be with me, then that's fine, because, I want to be with someone that loves me. I want to be with someone that does want to be there. And if you don't want to be there, and if you don't love me, then there's not really much I can do about that. And basically, goodbye. That's what you got to say. That's what you got to put across, that you are not going to tolerate trying to, and be in a subpar relationship with someone that doesn't want to be with you. You deserve the best in life. You deserve to find someone that cares about you. You deserve to find someone that loves you. So walking away is powerful because it puts you back in control of your emotions. And it stops basically it stops the other person from being the puppeteer of how you feel, right? If that kind of makes sense to you. So, for example, basically a simple way to describe this is, if they message you on those days, you probably feel really great. And if on other days they leave you on red, you probably feel really, really upset on those days. And that's basically what happens when you give someone the control of your emotions. So you need to get back the control of your own emotions and walk away from this person. And walking away really does help doing that, because it gives you that self-control. And also, once you've vowed to walk away from someone, you kind of have this like unspoken vow with yourself that you're never going to reach out to them again. You're not going to let your emotions run away with you, and you're not going to reach out. You're not going to do those things. You're going to rein it in. You're going to have emotional self-control. You're not going to let your emotions get the better of you, and you're not going to, kind of like love vomit on them on days when you really, really miss them, because some days will be easier than others. There'll be days where you really miss them, and there'll be days when you feel a lot better, and it's on those days where you really miss them that you have to be extra careful and really keep in your emotional self-control, and exercise your emotional self-control, and not let yourself give in, or send them, by sending like a long letter to them, or a message, or try and phone them up and get them on the phone, talk to them. Because basically, when you're pinning your happiness on someone else, it usually equals disaster, because if you let other people control how you feel and control your happiness, then most of the time, you're going to be pretty miserable, because most of the time people are quite disappointing, right? Not a lot of people are going to match your expectations. It's best not to get overly emotional about what other people are doing, and to just focus on what you personally can control, on what you personally can do. It's like, okay, my ex didn't reply to my message. There's not really much I can do about that. So what can I do to make myself feel better? It could be that you go out for a run. It could be that you work on a project that means a lot to you. It could be that you go and hang out with some of your friends, and you blow off some steam that way. There are lots of things that you can do to make yourself feel better. And you shouldn't be blaming your ex for how miserable you feel, because, sure, yeah, it hurts and it stings, but you're always in control of how you react and what you do to make yourself feel better. You always have the opportunity to make yourself feel better, even if it's just a short-term thing, but that's better than nothing, right? You still have the control to make yourself feel better. So one of the other reasons why walking away is so powerful is because it gives you a fresh start. You now have the opportunity to find someone else. You now have the freedom to find someone else. You now have more time to work on things that matter to you, you know, working on those important projects, spending more time with your friends. It might be that you want to make a side hustle or something like that. You want to start a business. You want to stop working at your 9 to 5 and just solely, you know, live off your side hustle or this new business that you've created or something like that. And if you do have some goals, then I highly recommend that you watch this video on motivation that I created on my second channel, especially if you do have some goals that you're hoping to achieve, you do have some projects or you do have a side hustle that you're trying to make a success. Then I highly recommend that you watch that video, because that will really help with that, and also that channel will really help with that as well if you've got some goals that you're trying to achieve and maybe you're struggling with some motivation to actually follow through and do those things that you know you need to do. So that's the beauty of walking away, and why walking away is so powerful, because it gives you that opportunity to start anew, to start fresh. It gives you the opportunity to find someone new who is even better than your ex. It gives you all of those things. It's walking away is actually a gift to yourself. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.